Hello and namaste. Welcome to your meditation practice. I'm Jenny Kontos, and I thought since we were starting to get to know each other, and because yoga is a great opportunity to become vulnerable, that I would share my most embarrassing story, but also one of the biggest learning opportunities I ever had in my life. When I was in sixth grade, we had lockers, and my classmates and I shared this particular locker pod. There was like 10 or so lockers, and a few months into the school year, there was a really foul smell that started to come from our locker area. And the girl who had a locker next to me and I had both smelt the smell at the same time, and we thought maybe something like a rodent or an animal had gotten into the school building and maybe died behind our lockers. So we ended up telling the custodian, and we also told somebody in the office, I think, about what was going on around our locker pod, and they sent someone out to investigate. And they didn't find anything behind the locker, but they definitely noticed the smell, so they were going to investigate further. And the smell didn't really go away. It just kept getting worse day after day after day. So we thought maybe it was coming from somebody else's locker. Definitely wasn't the girl next to me. Definitely wasn't my locker, but it had to have been somebody else's locker. So we went back to the principal's office and told them about the smell getting worse and that it had to have been something in somebody's locker. Maybe somebody brought an animal to school, or we had no idea. It's not coming from our locker, it's coming from somebody else's. So the principal said he would investigate personally. And at the end of the day, my name was called on the intercom to come to the office. And so I got out of my chair and I walked to the office. And I remember being really confident and being really excited, like, oh yeah, they found the cause, and they're going to figure it out, and it's not going to smell anymore. And I walked into the principal's office, and on his desk there was a purple lunchbox. And he said, "Is this your purple lunchbox?" And I said, "Yeah, I haven't seen it in a few months actually. Why?" And he said, "Well, you have a sandwich in here that is probably a few months old, and I found this shoved at the top of your locker behind some books." And I was like, what? This can't be mine. This is not me. And I was so blown away by what he just told me. So I started to cry. I started to feel very overwhelmed. It's a feeling I'll never forget. And in that moment, I started to feel very overwhelmed and very, I felt shamed. I felt bad that I had tried to blame somebody else. And then I was also really embarrassed. And he said, "Mrs. Holding," which is my maiden name, "the next time that you think about blaming other people, make sure you always check your inside locker first." And at the time, I didn't know how big of a lesson that was going to be. But I guarantee you, for the rest of my life, or up until this point rather, anytime something is happening around me, I always make sure to check within me first. So this meditation is to observe our thoughts. And a big misconception of meditation is that we are controlling our thoughts, which we're not. Meditation, we're observing our thoughts. And observing our thoughts, what we get to do is we get to be present, we get to observe, and then we get to practice non-attachment. So in the moments we want to attach ourselves to a thought, allow yourself to be as present as possible and just allow the thoughts to pass by. All right, let's get started. Find a comfortable seat. I'm sitting on just a throw pillow, and I have a blanket underneath me because the floor is a little cold. You can sit on a blanket, you can sit on a pillow. You don't have to have anything special in order to meditate other than yourself, which I think is the utmost special. And once you get comfortable, if you haven't already, just allow your hands to rest wherever they feel most comfortable. Allow your shoulders to relax down and away from the ears. Bring a space between your teeth And allow the tongue to relax down away from the roof of your mouth. If you haven't already closed your eyes, take the next few moments to close them. Maybe just dim your gaze or close them completely. Relax your forehead. Lift up through the crown of your head. And notice your breathing. If it's not comfortable for you to breathe in and out of the nose, then find a breath that is most comfortable for you. And without trying to control your breath, just observe it. Either coming in and out of the nose, maybe in through the nose and out through the mouth. Just observe your breath. Notice the length of your breath. Notice the depth of your breath. Maybe you notice the sensation of the breath. Keeping the breath smooth. Keeping the breath effortless. And as we begin to drop in to deeper and deeper awareness, sometimes our mind will like to manipulate us into thinking of doing other things. Sometimes our mind might try to pull us to those to-do lists, to what has already happened in the past, maybe some worry about what could happen in the future. But here we get to observe our thoughts, watching them pass by, not giving our thought any energy, just simply noticing. As human beings, we have thousands and thousands of thoughts per day. Some thoughts come in and go very quickly. Some thoughts come in and linger. Some thoughts come in and try to stay. Observing your thoughts without reacting to them, practicing non-attachment, knowing or getting to know that we are not our thoughts. And the more we become connected to our place of unconditional love, a place of no judgment, a place that is most connected to the divine, whatever you perceive that to be. The quality of our thoughts, our love, are not judgmental and reflect our highest state of being. Just observe. Be aware. Without any attachment to thought. Watch them pass by. Be aware. Observe and release. Releasing thoughts that don't serve us, gives us more space to invite in more positive feeling, positive thought, positive action. Aware, observe, and release. Bring your awareness back to your breathing. And softly swallow. Bring your palms together in front of your heart. Make friction with your hands. Start to rub them together to create some heat in our palms. And before we completely leave our meditation, remember that we are not our thoughts. And as we continue this practice of connectiveness into our life, always remember to look within before reacting out. Bring your warm palms to your eyes and just softly press them onto your eyes. Maybe rub your palms across your cheekbones and take your fingertips and tap your forehead. And bring your hands back down to your heart center. It was my honor to teach you. Namaste.